Hey Saints, welcome to another episode of Saints TV. In this video we're going to be previewing the Good Friday match between North Melbourne and the Saints. Okay, so we're going to go through some of the stats. The AFL have finally put up their preview of the match, so we're going to kind of go through what they think and then obviously what I think. So just with a team-to-team sort of analysis, North Melbourne played Gold Coast last Saturday night and they lost. We, on the other hand, played Brisbane, which was quite a tough game, and we got through it with a 25-point win. That puts North Melbourne with their loss at 15th on the ladder, and with us, we're currently 6th. So this is a really good opportunity for us to go from strength to strength. We obviously saw some things in the Brisbane game that were quite positive, but then we obviously saw some other things that obviously need work in terms of just general skill, but that's always going to happen with round one. You're never going to get your team coming out and playing perfect football unless you're GWS. So in terms of statistics between the two teams based on their first round performance, we had more disposals. North Melbourne had more clearances, which doesn't surprise me because we didn't really have a decent ruckman in Longer last week. He didn't really get a lot of hit-outs compared to his Brisbane opponent. We had more inside 50s. They had more contested possessions. They had 55 more contested possessions in North Melbourne last week. But I think a lot of that has to do with we played under the roof at Etihad, a more fast, uncontested sort of style, and they were playing in flooded waters against Gold Coast. So obviously that increased that contested possession sort of style for that game. So in terms of the overall consensus, we had more disposals, more inside 50s. They had more of everything else, and obviously we kicked a bigger score. But it's hard to judge North Melbourne. They had a tricky game. It's terrible conditions. The match almost was called off. On the other hand, in the end it was relatively comfortable, but I think that was a good round one performance in that we were pushed and then we responded. So even as early as round one, we already had that challenge that, we could lose this. We need to go to another level here and we need to take the game on and win it and say that we're not going to lose this game, not now. It was guys like Jack Steven, Blake Acres, Jack Billings, Jade Gresham. I thought Membry was very good, but he obviously missed a lot of chances, but he kicked 2 goals 3, so if he gets his kicking boots on, he's in for a bag at some point. Paddy McCartan, I think, could be another week where fingers crossed he has that game where he just breaks out, and I don't think he'll have a very good defender because I think their other 2 best defenders are going to have to go to Bruce and Membry, so he's going to have the third tall, and that could really be used in our advantage, I feel. North Melbourne aren't a great run and spread team, so I feel like that's where we can get them, is on the outside. Similar to Brisbane in that they've got a pretty stacked midfield in Zeeble. They've got some seasoned bodies in there, but I feel like with our quick handball game, if we can handball at the right moment, we can get them on the outside and eventually win. I think it should be a relatively comfortable game, to be honest. I'm not going to take North Melbourne lightly. Definitely not. We're not in that bracket of top 4 to 6 teams where we can just say, yep, this is a guaranteed win. Any game in the AFL is open to go either way. Round 1 was an exception in that all favourites did win. But I feel like with our running game, we've had very good recent performances against North Melbourne. Last year, round 22, we beat them by 49 points, and everyone knows that was sadly Nick Riewoldz's last game at Etihad Stadium before we played Richmond at the G, which was then his last game ever. So that was a very good performance from us. The AFL have predicted that we're going to win by 23 points. I feel like that should be bare minimum for us, for a team that really wants to push for the top 8 and really make a statement after 2 weeks and be 2-0. I want us to win by 40 plus. I think with our backline, it's quite stable. Ben Brown's obviously going to be a bit of a problem, but they've lost Lindsay Thomas, who always kind of bobbed up for a few goals against us. I feel like if we can break even in the midfield, they've obviously got the advantage with the better ruckman, but I feel like if we can rove their ruck, we can then play off that with the likes of Seb Ross, Jack Nunes, Jack Steven, David Armitage back, Jade Gresham going in the midfield with Jack Billings, McCartan, Membry, Bruce, Ben Long, I think it's going to, I think we should be really confident going into this game. Again, no disrespect to North Melbourne, but I feel like if we're serious about our season, this is where we want to take the game to the next level. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know your prediction. Do you think we're going to win? And if so, by how much? Who's the player to watch from North Melbourne? I think that Ben Brown's a bit of a worry, but I think with Carlisle and obviously our Nathan Brown there, who's been really good in the one-on-ones. He won 67 of his one-on-ones last season, which was number 1 out of any defender. So even though they're talking about Alex Rance and Michael Hurley, when Brown's one-on-one, we never see him get outmarked, which is the number one thing that I think he should be judged on, and he's doing that perfectly. It's Carlisle to intercept and then create the rebound off that. So I think we're in a really good position. Obviously the review will come Friday night, so fingers crossed it's a positive one and we can get the win. If you haven't liked Saints TV on Facebook, please do. It's at Saints TV /Saints TV. We're growing pretty fast. Over 200 Saints have joined in the last couple of days, so let's get that going. And obviously if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, do all that stuff, and I'll see you after the game.